The purpose of this podcast is to educate and inform. It is no substitute for professional care by your doctor or your qualified healthcare professional. Never disregard or delay professional medical advice because of something you've heard on this podcast or in any linked material. Guests who speak on this podcast express their own opinions, experience, and conclusions. Dr. Shirley neither endorses nor opposes any particular opinion discussed on this podcast. The views expressed on this podcast have no relation to those of any academic, hospital, practice, institution, or other entity with which Dr. Shirley may be affiliated.
Welcome to Forever Fab, the podcast on fashion, the art of living, and all things beauty. This podcast is curated by Dr. Shirley Madhere, MD, as the definitive source of holistic wellness through beauty.
Welcome back to part 2 of the Forever Fab podcast with my incredible guest, Veronica Sutherland. Now, Veronica, we've been talking about all your travel, all your healthcare entrepreneurship, and all the things that you have done and continue to do, and the new things that you're starting. What keeps you motivated and inspired to innovate as you have been doing?
Seeing nurses specifically that are overworking themselves, that don't have joy anymore when they're taking care of people, right? That have become complacent and think they're stuck. That is one of the things that keeps me motivated for sure. Because I think that if people see an example, they're more likely to be motivated and inspired to go out and try to, do things themselves. I remember being even just an RN. I didn't know what an NP was at all until I was in the hospital system, which is crazy. They're like, you went through nursing school? I had no idea.
Wow.
And even beyond that, never saw one that looked like me.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
So even as a nurse practitioner, there are 325,000 NPs nationwide in the States. Less than 1% of us are women of color.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say women, people of color, because there are men who are MPs.
Yes.
And so, I want to make sure that, when I'm no longer here, my legacy of being the MP is, and their books and their stories and their white papers that are written that leave information for those coming after me to say you can do, more than what you're doing if that's what you wish.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm waiting for that kind of energy to infiltrate the plastic surgery world. Work in progress. I don't know if there's progress, but anyway.
I just think we do our part. Ultimately, we just do our part. And however,
it is received.
Yeah, I just feel that way. I feel like, hey, I'm just a drop in the ocean, but I still have an effect. My ripple effect will be ongoing. And so, I just think that we just figure out what makes you happy, what makes you tick, and you give
and how you could leave a legacy for others in the world. I believe that 100%.
Absolutely.
And I am deeply grateful to the nurses and the nurse practitioners who helped to train me, because having gone through the internships, the residencies, the multiple fellowships, I could not have come out with all the knowledge and different kinds of knowledge, right? Not just the academic, the book knowledge, but other kinds of knowledge. I would not have been able to glean that kind of information and knowledge had it not been for the nurses, male and female, but mostly female at the time, who helped to train me. So I am deeply grateful to all the nurses, all the NPs who just were like, yes, you don't want to poke the patient there because it's all scarred, The little things, the medium, big things, nurses and NPs were always a part of my education, and I'm deeply grateful. So I honor what you do for sure.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I just, I don't know that, when you graduate from medical school or nursing school, you're just, you're so focused, hyper focused on, saving the
wanting
world
to help.
Whatever.
Yes.
Yeah. Like and then you kind of get in there, and sometimes reality sets in and you're not quite prepared for it.
True.
And then you start second guessing,
Of
is
course.
this what I'm supposed to do?
Yeah.
Right. And even though what I do looks a little bit different, I still own a pain management practice, a wellness center. I still teach and train nurses on how to open and operate their own businesses. I
Yes.
still own a physician network company where I have physicians that I pair with nurse practitioners across the country that want to open and operate their own business. So I'm still doing the thing within my industry that is helping to perpetuate growth and perpetuate acceleration, right? And it's
Yes.
driving them to do more, be more, have more, right? Go back to school, do whatever you need to do so that we don't get stagnant. So we don't
Yes.
think, oh, this is it. Like this isn't it, unless you want it to be it,
Right.
whatever
And
it
also,
is for you. So yeah.
and also so that the joy that we felt
Mhm.
when we had the ambition and the hope of, graduating from school and helping people, so
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
joy doesn't get dampened,
Right. Right.
because we
Right.
know that
I
can
think we've
happen.
all felt that at some point,
Of
right?
course. Yes.
Yeah, and especially even during like the pandemic, right?
Mm.
I think that was tumultuous times for every healthcare person,
Yes.
and in the general public were like, "Oh my God, yeah, healthcare providers, they're tired." I'm like, well, we were tired way before the pandemic,
That's for sure.
right? It's just
But we just
it was just
powered through.
exasperated.
Yeah.
Exactly, it was exasperated at that point. I said, and then you get to a point where you hit a brick wall and you have to deal with whatever the thing is.
Yeah.
And so I think whether you're a physician, a nurse practitioner, like a physical therapist or whatever,
Yes.
right? We all kind of go through that. Like, what am I doing? Like, what's
Mhm.
happening?
Absolutely.
So yeah.
I definitely went through that, probably a little
Mhm.
bit before the pandemic, but certainly during the pandemic, it was a hashtag new level.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right. So living your best life
Mhm.
has been, for me personally, has been motivated by, getting in my niche within being a healthcare provider
Yes.
and understanding what fills my cup.
Yes.
I'm 50 now, so I don't need the adrenaline rush. I don't need to be in the ER, like, cracking chest open and that.
Right.
I've
Yeah.
got that.
Yeah. Been
That
there, done
t-shirt.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so now I know that I'm more suited with making sure that the part that I can influence, I'm doing it with style and with grace and with faith.
And on your terms.
For sure.
On your terms. And you're evolving. That is the sort of your evolution. It just keeps going.
Yeah,
Now, with all
absolutely.
the things that you've done, and you continue to teach and consult and open new businesses, seemingly unrelated to healthcare, like the laundromats, but actually very much related to healthcare, how do you measure success? What does success look like for you?
Me being happy.
Mm.
Has nothing to do with money. Has nothing, like, if it stresses me out, I don't want to do it. Right.
Yeah.
I've gotten to the age where I want to do the things that I want to do, not the things that I have to do.
Absolutely.
So I'm happy, I'm healed, I'm financially stable. My daughter's doing well. I personally suffered a massive pulmonary embolism last year. They gave me 3% chance to live, right?
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for
And
a lot of
so,
people, that's fatal.
oh yeah. Yeah,
Oh my
like
God.
3%, like 1, 2, 3%. I go 3%.
Yeah.
People go like 30. I'm like, no.
No.
Like
Yeah.
3%.
Oh my God.
And so yeah, so now it is, and I've always been a live vicariously kind of person, but now it's definitely, I keep my stress level down.
Yeah.
I understand what true happiness is,
Yes.
and being fulfilled in that thing. So that for me is success. People go, well, yeah, but you make a lot of money. And I'll go, but that's a byproduct of being happy and
Yes.
working in the area that brings me joy. And so the money will come.
Yes.
It always does, right?
Yes.
And money is energy, right?
Absolutely.
Money is
Absolutely.
it's the ebbs and flows, right? The more you try to hold on to it, the more it flees from you. And so I tell people it's energy. And
Yeah.
so let it move as fluid as you are through life. And so it's the experience of knowing that I live a life of abundance,
Yes.
whether it's health, relationships, money, right? Peace, joy, all of those things. So for me, those things are priceless. Priceless.
And the money thing and holding on to money is like, I heard a metaphor the other day. It's like gripping sand. The tighter you squeeze or the tighter you hold on to it, it's just going to keep dripping out of your hand. So
Absolutely.
yeah, that's a very difficult lesson, I think, for a lot of entrepreneurs, and myself included, to have learned. It's like, stop gripping that attachment, to the thing, and not necessarily the journey or the experience or the presence of what you're doing is challenging.
Yeah. You don't really want the money anyway. Honestly, I tell people, go, yes, you do. I'm like, no. You don't want the money. What you want is the freedom that you have.
That is the operative word.
That's what you really want, right?
100%.
So, if I were to say to you, I'll give you $10 million a day, would you take it? And you'd be like, of course. I go, would you take that $10 million if you knew you wouldn't wake up tomorrow?
Yeah, no.
And they would go, no, exactly. Yeah. So it is the freedom that, entrepreneurship and the money allow you to be able to spend time with people that you enjoy, to be able to stop and read a book and not be pressed about, having to give meds on a medication schedule and not even be able to go relieve yourself appropriately, which then affects your health, right? So all of those things, right? But you are the center of your reality. We have to take care of ourselves mentally, physically, emotionally,
holistically.
Absolutely. It's so important. And the older I get, I'm like, I turned 50. So I thought I think I'm grown now.
Welcome to the club, darling.
Thank you. And I'm no longer a people pleaser. I'm no longer, worried about what other people think. I'm doing the thing that makes my heart happy.
Good. And we are the writers and the authors of our own narratives. That's also another difficult concept to grasp, because so many things are coming at us from external sources. And we can't control those external sources. So our superpowers definitely have to emanate from within.
Absolutely.
We have to be responsible for our own joy. So thank you for manifesting that.
Absolutely. I've enjoyed it. It's not easy.
Obvious. I know.
Yeah. I'm just, I just sit and sometimes I catch myself just smiling. And again, not that everything's perfect, but I'm just so grateful to be here, to just be here.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for that.
Good. Yeah. Gratitude is a large part of it.
For sure.
What would you say are the greatest challenges to achieving a profitable business in I'll say healthcare, but I think I really mean the wellness space, because, for example, the laundromats are really a wellness proposition. So what would you say are the greatest challenges to achieving those types of businesses now?
Understanding the fundamentals of business, period. Like most people, they like the bright and shiny, the photo shoots, what it looks like on social media, right? The you telling someone that you own a business, but owning it and operating it are entirely two different things, right? Maintaining it and sustaining it.
That's another level. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so I think it's understanding business fundamentals, honestly. Like, can you read a balance sheet? Like, do you understand how to read a P&L statement? Do you know how to figure out the valuation of your company? Do you understand, retention and recruitment? Do you have SOPs? It's bigger than that. When I first started my first business, I didn't have an attorney to do the entity structure. So the structure was set up the wrong way. One business, I had a partner. We didn't have a partnership agreement. She took me for $40,000. There's so many things that you have to know that nobody really tells you, right? You have to figure them out on your own.
Right.
And so I wanted to make sure that my position on that was to educate as many people as possible about how to operate and own a business the right way.
Yeah.
Start slow, grow slow. I just happened to, my PR person, she says, you're an anomaly because my growth wasn't slow. And I said, because at the time it just made sense. It hit just right. Right.
Yes.
But I tell people, you gotta, slow down, take free classes, go to your local community college. There are small business centers and entrepreneurship centers that you can take classes for free to learn the fundamentals. Don't feel like you have to go get an MBA. You don't. You don't, right? So start slow, get some fundamental knowledge, take your time, decide what you really want to do, because most people don't know. And that's the struggle. Like, oh, I don't know what I want to do.
Yeah.
And so look at some, introspection, really. What are you good at? And be able to read the market. I tell people that all the time, you should be able to you have to look at business trends What's trending, what's historically a good investment. Understand diversification. Just because you open, ABC business doesn't mean that you can't, invest in other things. And
Right.
so I tell people that all the time. Get around people who know what they're doing, mentors, coaches, people who have done the thing that you want to do specifically, right? And I
Yes.
harp on that because I go, you wouldn't get in a car with a blind person driving. So why are you asking Uncle Fred, how to create a hospital when he's a mechanic? It
Right.
doesn't make sense, right?
Right.
And so I just want people just to slow down, right? Do some reflection, look at what they don't know, because in business, you don't know what you don't know.
That's
So
right.
start with what you do know. What I do know is that I don't have a business plan. Start there.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
What I do know is that I need a business structure. Go talk to an attorney. Right. And so those are the things that I tell people to start slow. Like it's definitely not a sprint for sure. I've been doing this for 20 plus years at this point. And I'm just now comfortable, kind of.
Yeah, kind of ish. I mean,
Kinda,
I
right?
love that you said that. Get the education, and in many places, it's free. I have taken so many, business, advertising, media, whatever classes from an organization called SCORE from the New York Public Library. It has,
Oh, absolutely.
right?
Yes.
Don't we
Score is
love SCORE?
amazing.
Big
Score
up
is
to SCORE.
amazing. I hope
Now,
they are sponsoring this podcast for you.
no, they're not. They're not. It just came up organically, but I'll make sure that I tell them to listen.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that they
For
invite you
sure.
to. I invite you to speak. Okay, I'm on it. I'm on it. You mentioned
I would
social
love
media.
to.
Okay, great.
Yes.
You mentioned social media. How has it impacted your growth trajectory? Is it something that you tell your students it's a must, or do you tell them, you don't necessarily have to deal with it?
So I'm not a fan of social media.
I
However,
know, it's so challenging.
it is definitely an integral part of anyone's business plan if you're planning to be successful.
Yeah, I
When
know.
I started, there wasn't social media, right?
Right,
So it
that's
was
right.
a bootstrap, grassroots marketing,
Mhm.
relationship building,
Yes,
you
the good
know,
stuff.
exactly. It was passing out flyers, talking to people on a regular basis. It was that. And
Yes.
so now, fast forward circa 2010, 12, somewhere around there,
Mhm.
we have the influx of like guerrilla marketing, right?
Yes.
And so, we're the call center era and all this stuff
Yeah.
is faded now. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, I think social media is very important. It shouldn't be the only aspect of one's business for marketing. However, it is very important, right? Because you're going from, instead of one to one, you're going from one to many.
Yes.
And I tell healthcare providers specifically, be very careful about what you put on social media,
Oh, yeah.
right? If you have a business, and have a business page.
Yeah.
If you're going to have a personal, then you keep that personal.
Right.
Because you have a lot of businesses that do social media audits. They're looking to see, what that image is. If you're looking to do contracts and collaborations, corporations they take it very seriously what you represent outside of, or on your social media. So you don't want to be, turning up. You don't want to be, out here just all doing, whatever. And so you have to keep that in mind, because you are your brand,
Yeah.
right? V, the NP, the brand, is very different than Veronica, the person.
Right.
V, the NP, is going to show you a little bit more. Veronica is very private.
Yes.
V, the NP, the brand, is going to show you, we're at the expensive dinners. Because we're trying to show you that, hey, you can be an entrepreneur and not be
Yes.
stuck in a hospital center. Right.
Right.
So
Understood.
there's just so many aspects of it, but you got to understand your target audience. You got to understand, what the message is. There are 5 pillars that I teach people. And,
Mhm.
and if you would allow me,
Absolutely.
I would tell people that money is always important, right? So you want to
Mhm.
make sure that you're able to raise capital. You want to know where your money's coming from, and you want to know how to keep it, how to get more of it. The
Okay.
second M that's really important in business is messaging, right? Who are you talking to and what are you saying? Because if I'm trying to message someone who is not in my target population, I'm wasting my time and my money. The
Yes.
third thing is marketing. You got to understand how to market. You need a lead magnet. You have to
Yeah.
make sure that you understand how to convert sales, not just generate leads. And a lot of this stuff on social media is about lead generation. But what they
Yes.
lack is the education of teaching people how to convert the lead into an actual sale. So a like is not a dollar in your bank account.
That's right. That's
Okay.
right.
So you have people that have, 1 million followers and they're not monetizing it because they don't understand the messaging. They don't understand the marketing, right?
Right.
The other part that's very important is mindset, of course. You've got to change your mindset. There has to be some transformation there. If you're planning to open your own business, then you have to have the mindset of a business owner or of a founder, not necessarily just, a worker bee. And those worker bees are very important. But if you are founding or CEOing a company, right? And when I say CEOing, what I'm saying is that you're seizing every opportunity.
Oh, I love that.
That is what CEOing means for me. People go, seizing is spelled with an S. We're going to spell it with a C because I like it, right? But being able to market and being able to merchandise, right? Being able to put together those plans. So you have to be able to do that. Mindset transformation is very important. And it's not like you do it one time and it's done.
Yeah.
It is ongoing. It is ongoing, right?
Yes.
And then the last thing is the last M is momentum. So you have all these things, but then people get what? They get scared and they don't do anything with it. So you have to have some momentum. You have to be able to actually put movement and action towards all of these things that you said you wanted, right? And working through I don't have a confidence or I'm scared. It's just because you need practice. That's all. You just need practice. So when it comes to social media, get in front of your mirror. When I was a kid, I used to take the hairbrush and sing in the mirror.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It hasn't changed. So, people go, oh my God, I'm afraid to go live on social media. Why?
Right.
It's just you in the mirror with your hairbrush when you're 8 years old. That's all it is. Right. And so you have to make sure that those M's, and I tell people, whether you're a Fortune 100 or Fortune 500 company, every company needs those 5 pillars.
Right.
Every company.
That's right. I love it. That's fantastic. I'm so there's so much that I'm learning. It blows my mind, but I know we are short on time because I want to respect the fact that you are in a time zone and it's like 4 or 5 in the morning for you. So we just have 2 last questions.
Okay.
And this one is about you, the personal you. How do you decompress from your daily grind? Like, what is your wellness routine?
What is my wellness routine? So I can tell you what I do at my house.
Okay.
In my home, I created a meditation area. I have a sauna, infrared sauna that I get in and just sit.
Nice.
I have one of those massage chairs that you go to the mall and you just sit in and it does all the things. I have that. I love water. It's very calming for me. So I have a water fountain on the wall in my home.
Oh, yeah.
And so candles are a walk in the house. So let me just back up and say this. So there's always music playing in my home.
Okay.
I live alone, but I like to be greeted.
Oh,
So
nice.
I play music all the time. So when I walk into my home, I'm greeted by usually some sort of live jazz playing softly in the background, but I like to be greeted.
Nice.
And so I create the ambiance. So definitely music all the time. Candles. I love scents. So I light candles every day, regardless of whether it's 1,000 degrees outside or not. It doesn't really matter. And so, sorry about that. I'm sitting in the lobby and,
anything can happen in Thailand.
Yeah.
Veronica.
Yeah. Anything happens in Thailand because they're coming from the night market. So it's like, but yeah, so those are things that I do, but I spend time in my meditation area, and I surround myself by books that speak to who I want to become.
Yes.
So I do a lot of that. But traveling is not always for business. I literally just went to one of the ladies who inspires me for March was International Women's History Month. So one of the ladies who inspires me is Bozoma St. John. I don't
Oh
know
my
if you know
gosh.
who she is.
I know who
Yes.
she is, and I
Mhm.
have a friend who's friends with hers, and I'm like such a fan.
She's amazing, right?
She's
She's amazing.
amazing. I hope I can
And
get her
her
on this
story,
podcast.
yeah, her story speaks volumes. So
Yes.
she does a workshop. Um, and she just did a global workshop. So I woke up on like a Monday morning. I was like, oh, she's going to be in London. I booked a flight, went to London
Wow.
to go hear her speak. It was amazing.
Yes.
And I was like, since I'm here, someone
Yes.
else that inspires me is, I don't know if you are a champagne
Yes.
connoisseur as I am. So Veuve Clicquot,
Of
right,
course,
is
but of course, Madame
mhm.
Clicquot.
So I was like, okay. So I took the train from London
Mhm.
over to France, to Paris. And then I went and did a champagne house tour because I like Madame Clicquot's story. I love her
Absolutely.
story. She was
I just
very,
saw that film,
she was innovative before
and
her
she was
time.
relentless of all the times it didn't work, and she just kept at
Absolutely.
it.
So those are the things that I do
Yeah.
to keep me motivated. So I look at women who inspire me, and then I go do something that speaks to that and fills my own tank. So yeah, so I literally was just like, oh, okay, I'm going to London to hear, Bose. I'm going to fly over here to go to this champagne house. I'm going to touch the wall. Like I have pictures of
Yes.
like literally like the things that I can look back at and say, if this lady can do that, I can do this.
Good for you. Well,
So
you
yeah, so
inspire
those, yeah.
me. You absolutely
Oh,
inspire me. And I thank you so much for your time, your precious, valuable time in another time zone. This is the last question. It's the signature question. It's called the Fab Five after the Forever Fab podcast. But
okay.
I know you've given us the pillars of business, what every entrepreneur should embody. But this is really sort of more of a holistic kind of question. What are your top 5 recommendations for living a beautiful and fabulous life?
Okay. So one is surround yourself with people that love you.
Okay.
That's most important, right? If you are feeling, I'm trying to make sure I'm saying this in the most politically correct way.
I understand.
But if you have any angst
Mhm.
around people, they are not your people.
Yes.
Okay.
That feeling in your
So
gut that tightens up and you're like, I don't know what it is,
like,
but this person makes me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's like, I
Okay.
can't put my finger on it. If you have that, I can't put my finger on it, but they're not your
Mhm.
people. Okay.
Mhm.
So surround yourself with people who love you. Number one.
Yes. Yes.
Number two, eat good, sleep good, ride good. That's number two.
Ride good.
Yes, ride good. So eat good, sleep good, ride good. So I love experiences. I'm always going to go. And the experience doesn't have to be very costly, right? People go,
Okay.
oh my God. I mean, I like fine dining, but it doesn't have to be that, right? It could be
Okay.
a fried bologna sandwich. Doesn't matter.
But it's the
So
best
eat
bologna
good.
sandwich ever.
Exactly. So eat good, sleep good, ride good. Eat the
Okay.
things that you enjoy, right? Make sure you're sleeping in places that make you feel safe, right?
Yes.
And make you feel good, make you feel
Yes.
heavenly.
Yes.
And ride good. So those are the things that I require. Eat good, sleep good, ride good. That's number two, because I have to be comfortable.
Okay.
To be comfortable. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Number 3.
And number 3, fabulous life, I would say, I love to smell good. I love to smell because scents make me happy.
Yes.
Right. They speak to the portion of your brain that releases dopamine, that releases those endorphins. So regardless of whether I'm in Thailand or sitting, on a subway in New York, the smell will bring me good feelings of joy and solace. And I like feeling safe. There have been so many times that I haven't felt safe in my life. And so now I'm like, that's priority. I have to feel safe. Right.
I'm going to have to re-experience the whole scent of the New York City subway. I'll let you know.
That part, right? But there are certain smells that are associated, even though the smell may be bad, it sometimes is associated with a good memory.
I see. Yeah.
So for me,
or a good story.
Exactly, right? So for me, it could be the subway, but for me, I'm like, oh my God, I remember when me and my aunt used to hop on, the A train, whatever. So that's a good feeling. So
I understand.
So that'll do that.
Okay.
And
number 4.
Number 4 would be now. again, it's related to experiences. Create
Yes.
experiences,
Yeah.
right? I just did with some of my friends at home. I did a caviar tasting at my
Oh,
house on a Sunday
oh,
afternoon.
I love
I
that.
was like, okay. So one of my friends said, "Hey, I've never had caviar." I was like, "Oh, say less." We
Yeah.
ordered some caviar. We did a caviar tasting. We put
I love
kimonos
it.
on,
I
right? Even
love
though
it.
completely different regions of the world, caviar and kimonos don't go together, but we made it go together, and it
You
was a
made it
fun
go together.
time. Yeah,
I
we made
love
it go
that.
together.
Caviars
Right?
and kimonos.
We did that, right? And so it was just fun to experience things with
Yeah.
people who, may not have before.
Yes.
So I love experiences. I love creating memories that way. And then
Fabulous.
number 5, I would just say, again, it's being faithful. And I don't mean faithful, I mean full of faith, being
Yes.
faithful.
Yes.
And knowing that whatever I put my hands to will prosper, knowing
Oh,
that I am born into abundance, whatever that means for me, not necessarily money. Because people go,
mhm.
I'm like, no, abundantly living could be health, mental stability, being happy, being surrounded by people who love you, being able to walk down the street, smell the roses, look at the sky. I just had to get trifocal contact lenses. So I'm like, my God, I'm 50 years old. What is going on? Right. But it's that like relief that it's like, you're okay. Like
Yeah.
you're okay. So being
Yes.
faithful and understanding that everything works out because it's supposed to, just for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the last question, sort of, but then I just have this one last question, I promise. I just couldn't help myself. When are you going to write your next book?
I'm working on it right now.
I felt it.
Yeah, I'm
Promise you'll
working on
come
it right
back
now.
and promise you'll come back and tell us about it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm writing because so this is on my vision board. This is what I'm manifesting. I
I
just
love a
want to
good
be on
vision board.
GMA. Yeah, I want to be on
Oh,
GMA.
you
Like I
will.
want to, yeah, and I literally said, I want to sit like in the center. I want to sit between Michael and Robin. I want to sit in
Yes.
the middle.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, so it's coming.
Okay,
It's
I
coming.
know it's coming, and I'm going to pray for that for you too.
Yay.
Oh my
You have
gosh.
been an amazing host. Thank you so
Thank you
much. So
very
gracious for
much.
having me.
Bela will, the production team will attest to the fact that I never did a podcast before this, but what drives it for me is that I love people. I love stories. I love people's stories. I am made whole, and what fills my cup is hearing how other people just manage through life and succeed at it. And again, to your point, success meaning are happy. And they can share that experience with the audience. I have so loved having you on this podcast. I'm so grateful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
VDNP, Ms. Veronica Sutherland, for your insight, expertise, and dynamic and inspiring presence on this podcast.
Thank you so much. Listen, I wouldn't have had it any other way at 4:30 in the morning across the ocean. I would not have. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
This brings us to our close of this week's episode of the Forever Fab podcast with my absolutely fantabulous guest, Veronica Sutherland. So, folks, thank you for listening. And until next time, stay beautiful and forever fabulous inside and out.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Forever Fab, the podcast on fashion, the art of living, and all things beauty, curated by Dr. Shirley Madhere, MD. Live beautifully and help make the world a more beautiful place.